Hi, I'm Duncan, and I'd like to welcome you to my latest YouTube channel feature. Today I'm going to be reviewing a book by an author who you may very well not have heard of. I only discovered him very recently. His name is James De Mille. He was born in 1833, and he died fairly young. He died in I think it's 1880. And this is the book that he is probably mostly remembered for. It wasn't published during his lifetime. It was published in 1888, and it's called A Strange Manuscript Found in a Copper Cylinder. Very laborious title, which I think most people couldn't remember that the first time round. A little bit about his background, and I really had to struggle just to find this. But he wrote something like about 40 short stories, novels, many of them aimed at adventure for boys. He wrote books about camping, but also adventure stories. And he remember the time. This was just around about the same time as Jules Verne was having success. It's a bit before H.G. Wells, but it seems that his work was very popular, and I very much enjoyed it. I also think Edgar Rice Burroughs must have been quite influenced by James De Mille as well. And this is just a basic paperback. I was very surprised at how little it had about the author in it. But the story basically starts with a group of quite aristocratic friends on a yacht, and I think there's some mist or something. And then what happens is that one of them spies something in the water, and it's floating. They don't know what it is, but they bring it on board, and they find that it's hollow, and it's dry inside, and they find this manuscript inside, which very, very careful about, in papyrus, and they begin steadily reading it, and are transfixed by what they find, which is this diary by a man. He's called Adam Moore, and some of them think it's a hoax. Some of them, but one of them, is a historian, says, "Well, this is made on papyrus." Now, the art of making papyrus has been lost hundreds, maybe thousands of years ago, and yet here is paper that's been made on it. So maybe the art form, the skill survives somewhere in the world, because they're in the southern hemisphere, near the Antarctic. Or they're not, but that's when where the journey, the people who wrote the diary, are supposed to have come from. It's a very strange land that they the castaways arrive on, I can't say too much about it, but beware of trying to make friends with natives because it doesn't always work. It may work in Enid Blyton novels, but it doesn't here. Anyhow, they various people can speak. No, they can't speak English, which is good because we're a bit suspicious. But the people who rescue Adam, they can't pronounce his name, so it's called they call him Atamor because they can't pronounce his name. It's quite good. He falls in love with well, doesn't everybody always fall in love with someone when you're coming against a new people? But this causes a few problems later on. Alma, she's rather beautiful. She's not actually from, but the people are called the Koskin. And the country is called the Koskin. And the people are quite small, but they're very friendly. Well, at least this group is. They're friendly, and they treat them. They treat Adam like royalty, and also Alma as well. Although she's not of their race, she's another race, which is down the road, which we don't really hear much about. They have a very strange culture in the sense that to be rich is considered to be a bad thing, and if you do suddenly find you're acquiring wealth in society, then you want to get rid of it as quickly as possible. But very, they seem to have food in abundance. As I say, the poorer you are, the more respected you are. Alma has a sort of job in a library, looking after basically corpses of mummified people from the past. They have perpetual daytime at the time, but as because where they are in the world, as it goes, it goes dark, and the people like the dark. They don't find the light easy to deal with, but you get 6 months of darkness and then 6 months of light. And there's another love interest in the story, but Adam has only got eyes for Alma, and you begin to think of them. They are both obviously there together because they are both out newbies in this world. The same way I suppose that the Time Traveller and Wiener in H.G. Wells' The Time Machine sort of come together, and Julia and Winston in George Orwell's 1984. There's a lot of monsters and stuff in they go on a hunt to basically kill monsters and dragony type Ray Harryhausen kind of monsters, and basically in the fight there's very little people trying to help and protect anybody else. It's a free for all, because if you get killed fighting the monster, that's another bonus, and you're going to get death will be more glorious, and you'll get more. I didn't really grasp a lot about their idea about the afterlife, but I did get the idea of the reckless courage that fighting these underwater beasts and flying monsters, which, of course, if in the 1970s, British Lion made 4 movies with Doug McClure, The Land That Time Forgot, The People That Time Forgot, At the Earth's Core, and the other one I can't remember. And they were very well received. They were great fun, and really, this is that kind of adventure that could have worked very well as a public domain story to be made into a summer holiday boys' own adventure flick. Although the girls are that's Alma does really well in the picture. As I see, you can. It's interesting when you discover an old author from, say, 200 years ago, because you almost expect them to write exactly the way you expect to receive. So I think he's done very, very well without making it's boys an adventure, but it's got some difficult politics in it, almost satirical maybe would be the right word to describe, but it's a good attempt to try and make an adventure story, but with a bit of a bit of seriousness in there as well. And so it seems to be his most famous work, although it was published 8 years after he died, and goodness knows how many years earlier. I would have to find that out, but he's certainly well worth looking at. Apparently, he came up with stories for comics and stuff, which, of course, was taking off in the second half of the 19th century, and come out with ideas, I think, were graphic novels. I mean, he seems to be very much in the thick of it, the sort of time of pioneers. For, of course, the 19th century was the century of explosion for literature, with more people learning to read, and of course there was that continuation that had been going on for couple of hundred years of people wanting to go on adventure, actually physical geographic adventure, and Mr. De Mille certainly seems to exploit that very well. I've no idea whether he's related to Cecil B. De Mille in any way. I couldn't find out any evidence. But honestly, if you want to read a book, then I really do think this is not bad at all. It's always lovely anyway to discover a new author, whether they're new or they've been around for a while. But I do have a go with it. I have a confession to make. Many years, it must be 35 years ago now, I wrote a novel, a similar thing where a cylinder gets found, and it's thought to be but by people several thousand years in the future, and they think it's a bomb. But of course, I'm going to have to think this out now, because I'm not saying I've stolen anybody's. I understand that this kind of thing was quite common to do, something where you find something that's a diary stuck in a folder or something. That's most of my movie scripts, that situation. But in my story, a guy is trying to prove a load of things about Christianity that have been are now very controversial, and he's trying to go find the way back to the historical Christianity. But the script that he's worked on, because he's a historian, he's on the verge of being accused of heresy, which is quite a dangerous thing. It's got I don't know. I think people would enjoy it, but I certainly enjoyed James De Mille's book, and it left me wanting to find out more about this gentleman. So I may try and do another one, or if someone else wants to do one, that's fine. Anyhow, if you enjoyed this, then please tick the like button. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you aboard. And also, if you'd like to send this to a friend, that would be great as well. Anyway, you all take care. At the moment, we've got still got this flipping heat wave on, so do be careful, everyone. God bless.